Alright, guys, I am back for another video. I figure why not do, since we did my worst of the year, we are doing my top 13, because I thankfully was actually somehow able to finagle 13 movies to put on my best of the year list, since, because I'm going to pretty much say I've pretty much have seen all the movies I'm plan on seeing anyway. Or if like I'm gonna watch Anaconda, but on the seas, I don't think that's gonna be good. And I'm not seeing Avatar 2, so I'm pretty much I feel like I'm good on my list now. So I figure I normally would probably do this video towards New Year's, but I figure why not do something different? It's still in December, and because the reason usually I would do December because maybe there's a couple things I want to see, but this year it doesn't. There's not really anything in December I want to see. FNAF was shit. I'm not seeing Avatar 2 or 3. Silent Night, Deadly Night was shit. I have a feeling Anaconda's gonna be shit. And even if it's dumb fun, I don't think it's gonna be on the list of the best year worthy. So I figured we'll just get it out the way right now anyway. But anyway, so I'm happy I was at least able to come up with 13 movies. And we'll get started here. Like I said, Pin Down's on hiatus, so I'm probably not gonna be shouting out Pin Down as much for the time being. But still subscribe. We should be back live on January 10th. Also gonna be, working on I think there's a couple videos we're gonna be working on. So look out for that. But anyway, let's get started here. This is gonna be a surprising one for my number 13. The fact that this is a Disney movie is kind of crazy that I have a Disney movie in my list in is shocking. Not just a Disney movie, a Pixar movie. When Pixar for a long time has been pretty shit. But I figure this one has actually been good. It's funny enough, I've only just watched the first one a couple of weeks ago. And that is Zootopia 2. I watched the first one a couple weeks ago and I just didn't feel like doing a video on either. That's why I didn't do a review. So this will be, I guess, kind of my review of it in this. Zootopia 1 is really good. This is probably one of the better Disney movies. Granted, that came out almost 10 years ago. So it getting a sequel, obviously, like originally I wasn't even gonna watch it because I didn't even see Zootopia 1, but I've been told by a couple of people now that Zootopia 1, sorry, is actually really good. So I was like, all right, I'll finally check it out, and I liked it. I liked it enough that I like, and then Roman and Punk were in it. Granted, they're only in it. The Zebras were not in it as much as I kind of figured they were gonna be, but I watched Utopia 2 with some friends, and I gotta say, this movie is really good. It is probably Disney's best Pixar movie in a long time. I don't think it's as good as, like, because to me, the best animated movie in years is still uh, Puss in Boots' Last Wish, but I will say this is Disney's best Pixar movie in a long time, and it's definitely one of the better animated movies I have seen in a long time. I like how just genuine it is. I like how there is quote unquote message, but it's not in your face. I like that Judy's a flawed character, even still in this movie. I like her dynamic with Fox. I like some of the new characters. I like the introduction of reptiles. I thought the villain was fun. I actually like how he's much more of a direct villain because in the first one, it's like a lady, you find out it's one of the mammals that's basically trying to cause like a, I guess, kind of hatred towards predators, right? So it was like a manufactured thing where you had like a secret villain pulling the strings. This one, you actually have a straight up direct villain. You do have a hidden villain because the person that they're working with turns out is actually the Lynx, is the son of the not a Lynx, I think it's a Bobcat, is the son of the main bad guy. So I do like that reveal, but I do like you do have a direct bad guy. I like the new characters. I like the use of the world. Just a genuine movie. This movie feels like a Disney movie that would have came out when I was a kid. Same thing with the first Zootopia, and I think that's why it's so good, is because it feels like these are movies that would have came out when I was a kid. And actually puts a good message out there that's just universal, not necessarily like, oh, it's like political or some bullshit. So I gotta give it a Disney here. They actually were able to come up with a good fucking movie here. I didn't even know I didn't see it in the movie. I am happy that this movie is doing well. I gotta give it to them. They did a movie that's doing well, that's good. So I think it just on principle, it deserves to do well. Even if it is fucking Disney. I still hate them. But I can still acknowledge, I gotta be fair and acknowledge this is a good film. And I think Zootopia 2 is good. I almost think I like it a little bit more than the first one because I like that Judy and Fox are already partners. It's kind of like Beverly Hills Cop 2, and I know it's a weird comparison, but I like Beverly Hills Cop 2 had that same thing where, they don't have with Foley and Rosewood, you know, and Taggart, Rosewood and Taggart already are friends with them in the second one, so you don't have that initial distrust like you do in the first one. As much as I like the first one, I like that they already are cool, so they're just already working together, and you're just building. And I kind of like this movie. That's what a sequel should do. So yeah, I got to give it a Zootopia 2. And then if they do a 3, maybe I might bite the bullet and actually go to the theater. We'll see. Number 12, Beast of War. This is a movie that actually is a very low, not a low budget, but a lot of people didn't even know came out. I think this is a movie that my friend Calman put me on. He showed me a trailer for it that came out, and then it came out back in October. This was not a theatrical release. I wish it was, because I would have gone to the theater and seen it. This is probably the best. I mean, I will say it is not purely a shark movie, because it is also like a World War II movie, but it's about these group of soldiers that get stranded in the middle of this, during battle. They get shot down, and then they're stranded in the sea, and they're getting killed by this shark. And I love that they did like the Jaws kind of route. They gave a shark like a practical look and a unique look that doesn't look a little bit like Bruce from Jaws, yeah, but I do like they gave it a unique look, and they didn't, because they could have just used a generic CGI great white, or like, I get it, if you want to go more realistic, okay, use a realistic shark. But one thing that made Jaws stand out, they didn't just use a normal looking great white. They gave it like a unique looking design, and I like that this movie did that. And I do like you don't get a lot of it. I do like it's also still a war movie. You got Japan shooting at them. There's a scene where Japanese planes are shooting at them. So, and I just like the brotherhood of this movie. And I think that's why sometimes I like unknown actors, because sometimes it is a little bit easier. And I'm not saying every time, but there could be times if it's a known actor and they're really fucking good. It doesn't matter if they're known. I can get immersed in the character. But sometimes it is a little easier to get immersed in a character when you do not know the actor, because you don't know who they are. You just see them as that character that they're playing in this movie. And I feel like the camaraderie, and it's going to be a theme, because that's going to be also another movie that's going to be way higher up when we get to it, called Primitive War, that I also think had in common with this movie is I love the group of soldiers we're following. I love the brotherhood. You feel it. These actors feel like a squad. I really love those kind of movies. It's like, that's why I love the first Predator. You actually feel like these guys feel like a squad, and they actually are friends, and they actually get along. Number 11, because that's kind of all I really got to say. Because it's not a long movie. It's pretty quick. It's definitely one of my favorite shark movies, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it. I'm going to probably rewatch some of these this year. I'm going to try to make sure to get some, not all of them maybe, but like some of these rewatched, because this is a good movie. And I did want to have it higher a little bit, but my number 12, or no, 11. We're on number 11 now. My number 11, I know this is lower, but just compared to some of these other movies, and this is also subjective and more on entertainment value, but I know this is lower, but I still wanted to put it higher. Like, objectively, this would probably be way higher. Netflix's Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I really love this movie. I really think this is one of the best movies of the year. Performance wise, Oscar Isaacs is so good as Dr. Frankenstein. Jacob Araldi as the creature is well done. I love the opening of this movie, and like another movie that came out a year ago, Nosferatu. I love the aesthetic of the movie. I love that Benicio del Toro nailed the aesthetic. And as someone who's never really read the book of Frankenstein, I've seen the movies. I really think this is a well done adaptation of that. I love the scene of the creation of the creature. I love the build up. It is a little. I would not consider it slow, but I can see why some would, because it is a little bit of a slow build. But I can see why someone would consider it a slow burn. But I really feel like they do a good job to keep you intrigued throughout that whole thing. And just the performances alone, and just the setup of the movie, and just the world, and I love how it feels lived in, and it really nails the dread, and I love the final act. I love all the characters, the performances. I think in general this is a very well done movie, and I know it's some people might consider Criminal have it a little bit lower, but because I'll admit I'm probably not going to rewatch this one as much. I think that's also why I have it listed the way I do, because it is going to be listed as movies I am going to rewatch a lot. But I very much do like this movie. This movie is fucking incredible. Like objectively, this would probably be in the top five if I'm going by blah objectivity. This would definitely be like in the top five. But yeah, I very much enjoy Frankenstein. Number 10 is Caught Stealing. I really liked Caught Stealing. This was one that kind of came under the radar. I just saw the trailer one day, and I really liked this movie. I don't remember his last name, but I really like Hank. It's a story about a guy who's a not football player, baseball player, that happens to get tied up in his friends who's David who's Matt Smith, who gets tied with his shit, and it's like a bunch of gangsters. It's like an Edgar Wright movie where you have all these characters that's just unique characters and great. Regina King's in it. Fucking Austin Butler. I don't know why. I didn't want to make sure I got the name wrong, but Austin Butler is really good in this. You have Zoe Kravitz, and the fact that they shockingly killed her, because I remember that scene where because I thought, okay, she's gonna get kidnapped by the bad guys and he has to try to save her. Nope. He gets to her house and he finds her killed. Like shockingly killed. Just straight up killed. I thought that was well done. I thought Austin Butler's performance in that scene was very well done. I love how the story ties together. We find out that Regina King's a dirty cop. I love, you find out that the Hasidic Jews that he's working with are actually part of the bad guys. Like, I like how everything ties together. It's just such a fun film. And I wish I saw this in theaters, but yeah, I very much enjoyed this. This was one I wish did a bit better. It just kind of came under the radar, and I think a lot of people didn't even know it was coming out, because it's definitely a good one. Like, when I mean Edgar Wright, you have like Edgar Wright, even a little bit of Guy Ritchie. You could throw him in there. These directors who know how to make use of interesting characters throughout the film. You've seen great performances of said interesting characters. And I think you get that in this movie too. So I very much love it. So this is definitely gonna be one I want to rewatch. And yeah, I'm happy. I like these under the radar movies like this that are just not a lot of people know about, and that just come out of fucking nowhere, and just just be like, yeah, this is a great movie. Number 9 is Fight or Flight. This was a movie. I That was another one that I saw a trailer for late last year, and I saw that Josh Hartnett was in it because I really love Josh Hartnett. I think he's an underrated actor, and if you know his story, he kind of got fucked over in Hollywood. So I've really been enjoying his little comeback story. And as much as I hate that movie, and a movie I reviewed last year that was really bad, called Trap, he is the best thing in that movie, and I'm happy I still watched it just because it got to see Josh, because he is the best thing in that movie, as bad as it is. And you got to see him perform. So to see him in a good movie like Fight or Flight, where the whole premise is he's an assassin that he's on a plane with a bunch of other assassins, and he just basically has to try to survive and kill a certain target. Um, Fucking Katie Sackhoff's in it, and she's a real fucking cunt, but in a good way. I really like how much of a cunt she is in the movie. She's fucking great. It's another one of those you can have fun characters. It knew what it was. I'm kind of been comparing it to a movie that was another movie that I saw this year that I thought was very disappointing, Love Hurts, where I thought it was just going to be dumb, fun action. That's what this was. It was the right kind of camp, but also fun. But fun action scenes. The action's so over the top, and that's why it's great. Josh Hartnett's funny in it. The only real negative I have is I don't love the ending. I do feel like it just kind of abruptly ends, and I think they're clearly setting up for a sequel. But I'm worried it's not going to get that sequel because I don't think it. I don't think it did great in the box office because if I remember right, it came out a week before another movie that's gonna be probably, I'm just gonna spoil, that's gonna be my number one of the year, Final Destination Bloodlines. It came out a week before that, and clearly more people are probably gonna go see Final Destination than Fight or Flight. So I'm worried that this isn't gonna get a sequel because I'm hoping if it didn't have a giant budget, if it made enough of its money, enough of its money back, maybe it'll get a sequel. Because I really love this movie. Overall, I thought it was fun. You had fun characters. I even like the people working on the flight attendants on the plane. I thought some of those characters were fun. And yeah, just kind of all around fun characters. Now to my number 8. This is a Steven Soderbergh film. This is another one. There's a lot of these. You're gonna be sensing a theme for this video specifically with some of my favorites of the year. A lot of these movies are just movies I happened to see the trailer for because either I saw it because I was seeing another movie in theaters, or a friend showed the trailer in Discord, or I just happened to catch the trailer. This is one I saw the trailer for in a I think I was watching, I think it was Nosferatu last year. And then I saw the trailer again when I saw, I think, Death of a Unicorn in theaters, where I saw the trailer for this. Black Bag by Steven Soderbergh. I like that Steven Soderbergh made a return because he just feels he's one of the few directors that kind of just gets to direct what he wants, and I really like this movie. I do feel like this is one of those cases where the trailer didn't fully do it justice. I like the dialogue enough and it hooked me, and I like Michael Fassbender and I like Cate Blanchett. So I'm of course going to see it. But I really feel like this movie nailed it with just the dialogue. I wish the trailers did not fucking I wish the trailers did not. Because the trailers made it look like it was gonna be a fucking. Kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith type of movie. And it turns out, because the trailer makes it like. Because they're both agents, and someone's been. They make it seem like the target's gonna be his wife, because his wife's also an agent. So there's a bunch of, I like the intricacy. This is another one of those movies where it's not necessarily about the plot. I like it. I like it just because, one, I love the dialogue. I love how it's just the dialogue's intelligent. It's not dumb fucking dialogue that you get in a lot of current movies. That's just there because you gotta either over explain everything. Every character has to be super jokey and James Gunn kind of toned. No, you have intelligent adult dialogue, and it's just nice to see. Great character work. I love the dynamic between Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. They have great chemistry, and I'm at a point. If they do another movie together, I probably just will just watch it because I think they have a great back and forth dynamic, and it's not a Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie. I love the scenes where they're all at a table and they're just talking about the plot. Like, it's not a straight up action movie. Yeah, it's kind of a spy movie. They're both spies, but that's not even like the focus of the movie. Like, this is a case where I feel like you just got great dialogue and great character work that very much carries it, and that's why I have it on this list. Because I'm okay with the plot, not necessarily taking a back seat, but the plot being decent enough that it's not even necessarily the focus. It's just about the great performances alone. It's sometimes it's awesome having a great blend, right? And I'm not saying the plot is bad in this movie. The plot's good. It's fine. But it's just the character work, the dynamic between all these characters, the intelligent dialogue, which that I know I'm really harping on that, but it just is nice to see because compared to a lot of movies now where you just get very fucking retarded dialogue and all this shit, you just get dialogue that's just intelligent by intelligent characters. Like, yeah, man. I wish the trailers did it a bit more justice and showed more of like the intelligent dialogue than just like more focusing on like, oh, it's gonna be like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of movie, because it really isn't that. I really feel like it's definitely different. It's not that at all. you know. So I really want to hammer that home. And I like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I would have been a little disappointed if they just made a Mr. and Mrs. Smith clone. They did not do that in this. They made it seem like it is, but it's definitely a better movie than that. Number 7, Weapons. I really liked Weapons. This was one I saw the trailer for, just happened to see the trailer. And man, it really good. This is another one, great performances, but I thought the story was good. The only thing, rewatching it, the ending is a little goofy with the kids all killing the Gladys. Gladys is great. Gladys is a great antagonist. I love the setup because they do keep it a mystery, but I also like that is in kind of anthology style where it's focused on different characters, but it's all tying together. Different perspectives, which I like. I love how crazy it gets. The scene where you actually see Gladys able to, you get to see her do her work and cause, I'll just say Wong, because it's the actor who plays Wong from the MCU. And he goes crazy. I thought, that's the scene you see in the trailers. Josh Brolin is great. Like, I love the different perspectives, and it's just great. And I wish the ending just nailed it a bit better, because I didn't mind the ending when I initially watched it, but on rewatch, it's not great. I will be this. I normally would just cut it, but I'm just gonna close my door really quick. But yeah, I really just I liked how all of it came together. I thought Julie Gardner, who I wish she was used better, because I still thought Fantastic Four was a decent movie, but I just don't think it was good enough to be on this list. But I did think it was a decent enough movie. So, but I wish she was better, because she's one of the few things I didn't really like in the movie. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't really love her in the movie. But in this, she is really good. Bunch of great performances. I love the horror stuff. I love the aesthetic of the movie. This is definitely going to be one that I think will find myself watching. I just wish the ending, they nailed it a bit more. That is all. My number 6, and this is actually probably my favorite horror movie of the year, because I know I'll just spoil. My number 1 is Final Destination Bloodlines, but I've never considered Final Destination. Yeah, is it technically horror? Yeah, but they're not scary. They're more, especially the later ones, they kind of lean into the camp of it all. Like, it's still technically horror, but really the only one I would say straight up could be considered scary is maybe the first one. And not even, I'm not, that's not my only parameter, but I feel like in terms of straight up serious horror, this is the best one. Bring Her Back. I really loved Bring Her Back. The movie about this boy, demon possession, and yeah, I can understand. I've seen some criticisms where they feel like the main character goes through a lot of torture, but at the end of the day, it is a horror movie. And it is just the aesthetic of it, the scene with the kid, man. Fucking. This is the scene you see in the trailers where he's just getting possessed is so well fucking done. I want to watch it again. And I'm sorry, guys, I have not reviewed it yet. I want to review it. It's just other things have gotten in the way. But I definitely plan on reviewing it. I probably will just review it in like January or something. Fuck it. Because it is really fucking good. It's scary. I'm probably going to keep it vague because this is going to be the one I kind of want people to watch. Because me explaining it, I really feel like doesn't do it justice. This is one of those movies you kind of got to see for yourself. I'm definitely going to explain it in a video when I review it, but I just for now I want to keep the mystery there. Every other one I'll go more into detail in my other list, but this one I kind of want to be like, just see it for yourself because this is one of the few movies, even I as a horror person, I usually nothing gets me. This one got me. I won't say it scared me, but it definitely made me feel uneasy. This made me feel the right kind of uncomfortable. When that is what I think horror is. It should make you uncomfortable. And I really feel like this one nailed that. And that's why, as much as I like weapons, I think this one nails the horror of it better because this one made me legit feel uneasy, as even as someone who usually has a stomach for these kind of movies. So, but that's my number 7. My number 6 is fucking Sisu, Road to Revenge. I really loved Sisu 2. Sisu 2, I like the first one, and this one I think is even better than the first one because I like that one, you have more of a personal revenge story. And I said it in my review, I hope that this one is the last one because I don't, because I worry it, and as much as I like the John Wick movies, at least the world of the Continental and all this, the intricacies of the high table, you have a story there that you can kind of keep, you can kind of justify multiple sequels, right? I do not think Sisu has that. I feel like he killed the guy who killed his family. Stephen Lang is a way, as much as I enjoyed the bad guy from the first one, he's a way better bad guy. I love how just this one is just high octane. It's only an hour and like 23 minutes. It is the epitome of high fucking octane. And that is what I like. They did not hold back on the action. I love the Immortal as a character. And even though he doesn't talk a lot, I like that his actions make, it's almost like that does the talking for him. You hear him talk once in the end of the first one. And I just love how over the top this is. I love the final face off between him and Lang. I love the whole build up to him getting to Lang. Yeah, there's some action scenes that are not necessarily over the top, but if you're gonna be honest, even the first one had that. Like, you had moments in the first one that are a little bit over the top too. So I'm cool with it, and I just love just how creative they are with the kills. But like I said in the video, in my review of this movie, I really feel like this should be it. I feel like the story's finished. He's able to finally build his home. I love how they make you think these guys are coming to like kill him and you're gonna get this big fight scene. Nope, they're just there to help him build his house. So I really feel like that was a nice, beautiful ending. I don't really need more. His story, I feel like it's complete now. He killed the guy who killed his family. That moment, that scene with Lang where he has the Immortal like tied up and he's just torturing him and also like talking about how the only people he remembers killing is his family. I love that scene. Stephen Lang is such a good bad guy. He's such a good actor, and I really do wish he kind of is used more and stuff because I feel like he is. Even as much as I don't like the first Avatar, he's probably the best thing in that movie. He's a great bad guy. He's fucking awesome in this, and I think he's better in this than he's in Avatar. So yeah, Sisu 2 is just a perfect film. So that's my number. We're on number 6. Sorry, blanked out for a sec. My number 5. We're now in top 5 territory, and my number 5 is Naked Gun. Naked Gun is this is a nice return to form. I was a little bit worried about this movie because initially, one, I thought it was going to be like a remake, but I like that it was a sequel. And that's the one thing that gave me a little bit more positive because that's one of the cases where if it's a sequel, we'll see where it goes. And the fact that they were able to nail the tone of those original movies is perfect. I love Liam Neeson in this, and as much as I like him as an action guy, I would not mind Liam Neeson taking a break from the action stuff for a bit and do more comedies because he is fucking funny. He is funny as Drebin's son in this. Even the villain is great because the villain, if you remember him, he's the actor who plays Stryker in not Days of Future Past, in Origins Wolverine. He's like one of the better things in that movie. He was the main vampire in 30 Days a Night. So I think in general he's a great actor, but he's actually pretty funny too. I thought he was pretty funny in the movie. This where they're talking about Fergie. It's one of those movies like in the original, you miss jokes because it's joke after joke after joke, but they work. It's one of the few cases where it actually works. Because there's some movies where they just throw jokes at you and it just gets, even if some of them are hit, it can get tiring. But I feel like it's not tiring in this. I feel like it has that same dry humor a little bit like the original. And I thought Paul, I'll just say, if you remember, he's the in Cobra Kai too. Um, but he's good. Walter Hauser, I think is his name. He's also in Cobra Kai. He's really funny in this, and I love. Even though they played the scene in the trailers, the OJ scene, it still hits in the movie. I'm happy this was a case because there are some comedies where they play their best stuff in the trailer and then the rest of the movie doesn't hit. This is not one of those cases. I really love this movie. I think everything about it's perfect. I've rewatched this one like at least 4 or 5 times now. It is sorry, no, I said fucking twice there. It is awesome. I very much recommend it if you haven't seen it. I know I've seen some people who've not liked it. I can understand it, but I think it hits for me perfectly. This is the best comedy of the year. This is like the first legit comedy in a while, that actually feels like a classic comedy. Because I've been wanting a good, just straightforward comedy. That's not like a comedy action, a comedy horror, or something like that where it's like comedy's like a subgenre. I like that this works. Even like superhero movies have kind of become like comedies. So I like that we get just straight up just a comedy that's just a normal comedy. So I'm happy. I'm hoping that means comedy's making a comeback because I've been wanting that for a long time. So I even love that the fact that we got a Buffy joke in there. We had a Buffy joke, even a TiVo joke mixed with a Buffy joke. It's fucking great. So yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. So, but number 4 is, I guess I do have another horror in here. Um, fucking This is going to be more of a dumb fun one. I know this is not necessarily objective, but this is going to just, not horror, sorry, action. And this is going to be based off of uh, the Deathstalker movies. Apparently, they came out in the 80s, but this was one I just had fun with. And I felt like a little kid again just watching old 80s action films. This isn't objective, this is more just a matter of fun. Because if it going objective, Naked Gun's better than this movie. But I really had fun with this movie. And that is Deathstalker. I saw this movie last month. I wish I saw this in theaters. Not last month, in October. It came out in October. I really like this movie. You have the actor. He's usually like a stuntman in movies. He was in John Wick. He's a stuntman in a lot of like action films. But to actually see him in this is actually one of the rare times. He's usually a bad guy and stuff. He is actually a good guy in this. Not like a normal good guy, but Deathstalker's kind of like a parody of, not parody, but it's kind of like in the style of Conan and that kind of action, and it's really well done. You got boobies, you got cool kills. It's just fun, over the top B movie that I feel like I've needed in my life. Obviously, it's not objectively good. You could probably rip apart some of the acting and some of the CGI and some of the blood effects and all that. There's a lot on an objective level you could rip apart. But I just had fucking fun, man. And I plan on watching it again just because this is the kind of movie where sometimes I like, you know how you the saying turn your brain off? Sometimes I don't mind having movies like that where you just turn your brain off and just enjoy yourself. And I know it's wild I have it in the top 4, but in the top 5, but it's just so fun. Like, that's all I can really say. It's over the top. I love how funny some of the dialogue is. It's just a movie that I've been kind of needing. That dumb fucking schlock action movie. And that's what this is. So, that's what this gave me. If they do like a Deathstalker 2 or a sequel to this movie, I would be okay with it. Because this was fun. But now, we're getting to close to the top. By number 3. And this is actually, I'm gonna switch it. My original number 3 was gonna be F1, but this was where I'm actually gonna be objective. F1's gonna be 2 now. My number 3 is Primitive War. This movie is the dinosaur movie I have been wanting for a fucking long time. Yeah, some of the dino effects aren't great. You could see some of the wonky CGI, some of the acting isn't great, but man, the way they were, I just remember having to see the trailer for this, and I was like worried. I was initially thinking, yeah, this is gonna be some dumb fucking B movie. This is probably gonna be wild. Apparently, it's based off a book, but I was thinking this was gonna be shit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be like some dumb fucking movie, but holy shit! Like I mentioned with Beast of War, you have the soldiers are soldiers you like. And yeah, these are not known actors. But you care about these characters. You like I like their brotherhood. You believe that they've been a fucking team forever. And yeah, you have Jeremy Piven in this movie. He's actually pretty fun in this movie. I know it's a little memeable, Jeremy Piven, but he's actually pretty good in this movie as like the main like general. Um I love how it is cool just to see dinos be scary again. Especially in contrast to, this is a movie that's on my worst list, Jurassic World Rebirth. You see the contrast. Dinosaurs being taken seriously. You don't have stupid ass hybrids or anything like that. You actually just have dinosaurs. I love how the plot's just super simple. They get lost in the jungle. They're supposed to do a mission. They get lost and they gotta try to survive. The only negative I have is there's like a team of Viet Congs and some of the Russians that are trying to take out the Americans. They are not needed, and I honestly do not know why they're in the movie. I feel like some of it is because there's like the Viet Cong lady kills one of the team members, which I thought was stupid. I thought that's like probably the only scene in the movie I thought was kind of wonky and stupid. I didn't feel like that was necessary. I thought that whole squad of Russians wasn't really necessary. I would have rather just been about these soldiers trying to survive. But I do like that they run into this Russian scientist who helped work on the dinosaurs, who ended up helping the team. And I love the different use of dinosaurs. You had Spinosaurus, you had Utah Raptors, Velociraptors, obviously T Rexes. And I love the T Rex sequence in the end. I love how violent it is. I like how a lot of it's at night too. I think that's another thing. That's what made, in my opinion, one of the reasons I love Lost World. Bringing up Jurassic Park is because I love how a lot of it's at fucking night, and that brings in the dread. I love how this film was shot. I love how gritty it looks. I like how it starts out like a normal Vietnam movie, because you have like a normal Vietnam scene where they're going to war. You see them fighting Viet Congs, but also then it turns into like, it's kind of like Predator. It even reminds me of Dog Soldiers with the dynamic of the team. So yeah, these kind of movies, and I'm happy this came out. I wish I saw this in theaters, because this one actually did come out in theaters, but unfortunately it never played at my fucking theater, and I would have loved to have seen this, because it was cool seeing the T-Rex be scary again. I will say Ember from Jurassic World Rebirth looks better, but the T-Rexes in this movie are far more effective. They actually kill people. And you actually feel bad for these soldiers, and it's not just randoms dying that you don't care about, or just everybody who dies is a bad guy. I just love the tone of the film, and I like how it was a mix of a Vietnam film and a dinosaur film. I actually thought surprisingly well they did that well. And I'm happy I ended up watching it. I thought it was going to be shit, but, this is actually really fucking well done, to the point. It's my number 3 of the year. So, my number 2 is F1. F1, and I'm not even into F1 racing, but this movie, I think it is like based off a true story. But it's kind of like Ford v Ferrari for me, where it's just really good performances, a good story, a genuinely feel good story. Joseph Kosinski, who also did Top Gun, did this movie. He fucking nailed it. Gives you hope. This movie gave me far more hope than Superman did, and I'm happy it outdid Superman, because this is a far better movie. It inspired hope. I love Brad Pitt in this movie. I even love the black actor who's like supposed to be his partner. I love the performances in this movie. I just love how it's a feel good story. You actually want both of them to succeed. I love the racing scenes, even as someone who doesn't watch racing. And yeah, man, I really just genuinely, I think, like in Top Gun, I'll just say Joe for now. Joe Krasinski is really good at like doing, like in Top Gun, he really did a good job of making it feel like you were inside the jets. And I feel like he did the same thing here, but with the race car. You felt like you were in the race. You weren't just watching the race. You were actually in the race, just like you felt like you were flying in Top Gun. I really think he does a good job with that stuff. I really love that. So on a technical level, this is an incredible film. That's why I had to, like, in an instant, I had to think about, yeah, this is a better film. As much as I love Primitive War, this is a better film. This is such a feel-good film, and in a way, like in the movie, I'm happy it succeeded and even beat a piece of shit like Superman, just because this inspired far more hope for me than fucking Superman did. This is what I want in a good film. And I really hope Joseph Krasinski does more. I really hope he gets more movies, because I really think he's one of the few directors now that I really like. Because he just does a nice feel good story, and just that's all I want now. Sometimes it's just everything is nihilistic and has to be always negative, so it's nice to see just a movie that's just feel good. And if you've not seen F1 yet, I very much recommend it. It's it is definitely like it's the upper echelon of the year because it is so fucking good. It's like if honestly if my number one didn't come out, and this is more of a subjective thing because yeah, this is probably even better than my number one, but I really love this movie. And then number one, I already spoiled it. Final Destination Bloodlines. This is another case of a legacy franchise actually nailing it. Because I was a little bit worried because they hadn't done a Final Destination movie since 2011. So I was worried that they were gonna just do a bad movie and it was just gonna be like a Final Destination 4. No. This is actually probably the first Final Destination outside of maybe, well, even the first one, as much as I like it, and two, which is my favorite in the franchise, you have one character you want to die. This is actually one where you don't want any of them to die. I really love all the characters. I like the main character. I like the tattoo artist brother or cousin. And it's about a family, and I love the use of that because it makes it a bit more personal. And obviously, the deaths are great. Even though some of them you see in the trailers, I do think they still do a good job of making you, um, of keeping it of keeping like you still have a lot of kills that were not in the movie in the trailers, and you're able to see it. So I feel like you've had enough kills there that even if you saw some of them in the trailers or like some of the setup, like the lawnmower kill, you see the setup for that in the trailers. You it does not really the trailers do not really show how violent that scene is compared to the movie, and you feel bad for all these characters that die. And this is probably going to be the real reason I put this at number one. That Tony Todd scene hit me in the heart, man. Obviously, because you can even tell in the movie he does not look healthy, and the fact he got to be able to do this scene, and I think he knew, so he's like, you know what, it's almost like he told, it's like subtle messaging where it wasn't just that character telling you goodbye, it was him telling you goodbye. And that speech he gives, it hits me right in the heart. So this is probably the real reason, honestly, I think that this is the best movie of the year for me. It hit me in the heart because Tony Todd is such a legend. You know, that enjoy every second. I when he says that in the movie, it hits me, man. Yeah, I really love this movie. This I've rewatched this movie so many times this year since I've seen it. It's a fucking fun movie. Great kills. Probably the best premonition kill, Uh, or it's tied at least with the obviously the log kill, which they do a callback to. And I know a lot of people do not like the ending. I actually like the ending because Final Destination to me should be the one franchise you do not have survivors. I understand you had the survivor in two, or technically two survivors in two. I prefer no survivors because the whole point of this franchise is you can't escape death, and I really prefer that theme. And I know it's been done a lot because a lot of a lot of them have done everybody dies, but I just feel like this isn't like the you gotta have a final girl and they survive. No, I think this is the one where the whole point is you can't escape death, and I think that's a reality. So, and I think that's why I think people may not like it because it's not a happy ending, or you're gonna have a survivor like compared to other horror franchises, right? Where you have a final girl or somebody survives in the end. No, you don't. Not necessarily a happy ending, but you're not going to get a survivor ending. I think sometimes I like it. This is the one franchise that doesn't do that largely. It did it once in two, but I like they have not done it again. And I'm worried if they do another movie to placate the people complaining about the ending, because I did see a fair number of people actually complain about the ending of this one. I'm worried they're gonna, oh, we gotta have survivors now just to placate those people, and I'm gonna be disappointed because to me the whole point is you can't escape death. This isn't like other franchises, like I mentioned, where you have survivors. Like, this is some killer to mask, even some supernatural killer. This is death coming for you. And I feel like that's why fundamentally changing that would ruin it, because you can escape death. This isn't like any other killer like you see in some of these other movies where some of them you can't survive. Even something supernatural, like usually it's tied with you usually got to do some supernatural route to beat said supernatural. You can't beat death. And I think that is simple. And you get probably arguably not even just that old because it's premonition, but you get some of the best kills in the franchise in this movie too. That the kill with the magnet at the hospital is wild, where he kills the tattoo artist and then his brother gets killed with the fucking coil from the vending machine. Like, I love the obviously you have this iconic setup to the kills like you do in the other ones. I really feel like this is definitely one of the best ones of the friend. To me, I would still say 2 is the best one, and then probably 1. This is 3. This is definitely the third best in the franchise. I really love this movie. Borderline 2A. Like, if there's 2A, 2A would be 2, and then 2B would be this one. This one is borderline as tied with 2 for me. I really love this one, and as you can tell. So, but yeah, that is my favorite movies of the year, and I'm happy I was able to come up with 13, because I'm worried sometimes is how bad Hollywood can get sometimes, and right now it's still in a pretty bad state. That um I sometimes can't come up with double digit ones. I don't want to just do top 5, because I'm even worried there's gonna be day I can't even come up with 5. You know. But I'm happy I'm still able to come up with 13 even in present day. You know, as a superhero fan, does it suck that no superhero movie made my list this year? Yeah, but at the same time, I have to be honest with myself. Marvel and DC suck right now. I like Fantastic Four, but I don't think it was good enough to warrant being on the list. It might be an honorable mention, but when I think something's just okay, I can't put it on a list of best movies of the year. If I think something's just okay, I can't. That's just being dishonest. Because at that point, it would just come off like I'm just trying to fill a slot. Because I did want to do 15 like I did with the Bad, but I couldn't think of 2 more movies. And at that point, I would just put Fantastic Four there just to fill a slot. But and I also got to be honest, too. Do I plan on watching Fantastic Four again? Unless I'm watching it with friends or something, I'm probably not going to watch it again, if I'm being honest. But I did enjoy it for what it was. So, but yeah. So, yeah. So outside of Fantastic Four, superhero movies have been abysmal this year. You had Superman, which obviously I fucking hate. I've talked ad nauseum about. You had Captain America 4, which was shit. African American 4, or whatever you want to call it. I didn't see Thunderbolts, but it looked shit, and I have a feeling I wouldn't have liked it anyway. So, yeah. Superhero movies have just been abysmal, so I have to be honest with myself. I couldn't put any of those on the list, so. But, yeah, man, I'm happy I came up with 13. But other than that, subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. Check out our last stream on Saturday night's main event, Cena's last match, which I guess I could talk about that really quick. I normally don't talk wrestling, but it's on my mind right now. Might as well. To all the people whining, watch that promo on Raw by Gunther. That should shut you up, because to me, that justified what happened. I already that whole match had me on my toes. That is my new favorite match of the year. Originally, it was CM Punk and Cena. This is probably my favorite match of the year now, because this match had me on my toes. Gunther's a great talent, and I thought he was the right one to retire Cena. So, then in general, as a whole, I really love that whole show. Saturday Night's Main Event was fucking great as a show. Good matches, good pace. It's probably the best Saturday Night's Main Event they've done since coming back. But yeah, check out our stream on that. We had Maza on. Check that out. Also check out our Cena rebooking video, and we will be back January 10th. And we should also be back for Cowman reviews soon enough. I should be back in January, so look out for that. But other than that, guys, I'll figure out what my next video is gonna be, and yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.